So this video is going to go over bare bones introduction to Portfolio Manager, and we're just going to do a test property, and I want to show you just how to get far enough that when you have a test property, you can get a score for it. So we're just going to add a new property. So first you have to create a Portfolio Manager account, and it's Energy Star Portfolio Manager, and then once you create an account, you add a property. In this case, we're going to add a K through 12 school. We have one building, and when you're first starting out, I highly recommend that you do test property for your first property. And unless you're actually using Portfolio Manager to track actual building performances, like this video, probably many of my students will see, you always want to do test property unless you're actually doing this for a client or doing this in the real world. So whenever you're in the classroom, you want to do test property. And most properties we're going to be doing are going to be in operation, although you could do in the design phase as well. So you have to put in a bunch of information about your property. So we're going to do a school in the United States. I don't remember the exact address, but I remember it's Crest Road. So that'll be good enough. It's in Wilmington, DE. And it's 19803. And it was built. So this is the year built isn't necessarily going to affect your score. So if you're not sure, just take a guess. I'm pretty sure it's not right, but it's close enough. And the gross floor area you're going to get from a parcel search. So for my students, I've done the parcel search for you, and that information is up on the course webpage. But for this particular school, from the parcel search, it's 59,059 square feet. And we're going to say that there's no irrigated area and that 100% of the building is occupied. And so we could do some of these things if you know, since especially for my students, most of you won't know, but you could do that if you did know. Okay, so now we have that. The big thing here is we want a Energy Star score. So for everything that you need an Energy Star score, and if you're not sure, we're going to use a default. So here we're going to say it's not a high school because I know that. We're going to use the default for weekend operation. We're going to use the default for number of computers, for number of cooking facilities, all the way down. So that way we'll be able to, you can see that all the stars have values in it, and that way we'll be able to calculate the Energy Star score. And then go ahead and add the property. It'll give you this error just to say, default values cannot be used to apply for certification. We're not doing that since it's a test property anyway, so we're fine. So now the big thing is you can put in a lot of other stuff, but we want to really put in the energy use, because the energy use is what's going to give us the energy score, and that's what we're really after. Again, this is bare bones. Portfolio Manager can do a lot more than this, but we're going to add some meters. So this facility has electric purchased from the grid and natural gas, each with 1 meter. So we select those two. And then we have to put in some other things about this. I already have the spreadsheets pulled up, so I'm just gonna, the natural gas we're gonna enter in 100 cubic feet, and the date is gonna be 7/2/2009, and we're going to say it's still in use, which is fine. And we're gonna put this in kilowatt hours, and this is gonna be, let me just double check my notes here, 7/2/2009 as well. Good. So we're going to go ahead and create those meters. So now we'll choose our file, our natural gas, and we'll click upload. And then you can see it loads it in. So it loads the bills in for you, and if you did it right, then you should see all your bills and all your information. Really, the most important part is start date, end date, and usage. Everything else is optional. So right now, oh, I'm sorry, estimation's not in your spreadsheet. Make sure you have that listed. So let's go ahead and click Save Bills. So the weird part is that sometimes when you save the bills, it only shows 1 year of data. So if you thought that you lost data, you can go up to here and show all years, and you should see all your data again. I don't know why it does that. And then let's go to, that's our natural gas. So let's go to our electric meter, and we're going to do the same thing. So we are going to select our electric file and go to Upload. And we're good with that. And again, hit Save Bills. Okay, so I actually did this on purpose because I wanted you to see sometimes when there's weird stuff going on. So there's an overlap and there's all sorts of problems here because the start date and end date basically don't line up. But here's the big problem, the 396 days. And this turns out because I saw this from a particular student happen before, and it's sort of tricky to figure out. So let's find the 11/1/2010 and 12/1/2011. So we have 11/1/2010, and here's the problem, is that we basically we messed one of these bills up. So see if you can spot the issue. So the problem here is that this one should actually be 2011. And if we do that, we can see that that's the bill that's missing down here, the 10/31/2011. So sometimes it takes a little bit to figure this out, but you have to maybe look at all of the errors and see what's going on. It could just be that one of your dates is off by 1 day or something like that, so you might have to adjust that way too. So once we fix that and we hit Save Bills, let's see what happens. Luckily, all of our errors went away. And again, be careful. You want to show all years if you're worried about losing data. Okay, so now we have Save Bills, and we're done with that. So we're going to go back to our Carcroft Elementary. So the problem right now is that no meters are selected for performance metrics. Usually, this sometimes will prompt you to add meters for performance metrics, but what we're going to do is we're going to go to change meter selections here, and we are going to select all meters to be included in your energy metrics. So we're going to select all the meters, and we're going to say they count for the total energy consumption of Carcroft, and we're going to hit apply. And then we should get this nice little graph, and we should also be able to, if we go to our summary page, get some nice little metrics about the energy use of Carcroft. And you know, it looks like they're doing pretty good. Their score is going up over time in this time period, and their EUI, which is the energy use per square foot, is going down, which is good. So the other thing that to sort of prove to me that you know what's going on is that I want you to basically download like a certificate. So that is, you know, going to reporting, and there's a whole bunch of reporting things here. So you can see that if I'm just scrolling through all of them, we don't really need any of all of that stuff. But what I do want is the energy performance. So I want to generate a new report, and I just want to do one property, and in this case, Carcroft Elementary. And you can, you know, do whatever you want, but I was going to do current year versus baseline year. And that'll give you the sort of report that you can hand in to me. So it's going to generate that, and now we will download the report. Let me just show you what it looks like. There's PDF versions of this as well. I'm fine with that as well, so however you want to do it. So it's just going to give a report between Carcroft, and it's going to give you all the sort of information about it. So this is nice because then you can use this in a if you're generating a an audit for a company or whatnot, an energy audit, you can include this type of information. So that's basically it for the bare bones of Portfolio Manager. And again, there's a lot more stuff that Portfolio Manager can do. And it's really powerful and a really useful tool for energy managers. But I just wanted to give you the bare bones of it because that's probably the hardest part is inputting the utility data. All right, thanks for watching.